Hello, how y'all doing? Sorry for the tardiness. My name is Emerald, that's OJ, and we are your animal wranglers today with Haywood Hollywood horses. Now, did you know that the very first assembly of photographs in sequential order to create a motion picture was a 2-second clip of a black man on a horse? Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Look it up. Now, I know you guys know Edward Muybridge, the grandfather of motion pictures, who took the pictures that created that clip. But does anybody know the name of the black jockey that rode the horse?
No.
Nope. I mean, the very first stuntman, animal wrangler, and movie star all rolled into one, and there is literally no record of them. That man was a Bahamian jockey that went by the name of Alistair E. Haywood, and he is my great-great-grandfather.
Great.
There's another great-grandfather. That's why back at the Haywood Ranch, as the only black-owned horse trainers in Hollywood, we like to say since the moment pictures could move, we had skin in the game.
I asked Pete if we should cover something for Black History Month, and he said nope. Welcome back to the Scare Value Podcast.
And what did you call that?
What's that?
Tell Kitty what you called that.
That was the nopening I wrote on here when I put the clip in, and I have my nopes on my hat.
Okay.
As Kitty pointed out when we sat down to do this, nobody better to bring you a movie for Black History Month than 3 middle-aged white people. Mm-hmm. So much so that when we came up with the idea to do it, our first instinct was to do People Under the Stairs, directed by white man Wes Craven, and we name-dropped A.J. Langer, a white actress, Big Ed and Nadine, 2 white actors.
Oh, boy.
Now, we work...
You're terrible at this.
Yes. But Pete did then say, we could probably do a Jordan Peele movie, and I was like, that sounds better.
Yeah.
I do like Nope. It is a fun movie.
In our defense, the reason
There's no defense.
People Under the Stairs came up is because there's a great documentary on Shudder called Horror Noir that covers the history of black cinema for horror. And they bring up People Under the Stairs because out of nowhere, there's a movie with a young black lead from a studio that wasn't happening at the time. So that's why it was in our head. What's that?
What's the name of the young black lead?
Anyway.
Did you say Edgar?
Anyway.
There's this thing of
You don't
trivia
even know?
that I don't...
Here's the thing. I
Push the button that kills her mic.
I know Big Ed and Nadine because I'm a Twin Peaks fan, and I know AJ Langer because he won't shut up about her because it's like his first love.
Oh.
That wasn't my first love. That was She-Ra.
No, that was... Oh, that's true.
Do you remember how, when She-Ra would like spin around and then turn
We've
into...
covered this on the
We've done this
podcast.
3 times on this podcast.
Have we?
He has mental issues.
It's that Swiss cheese brain, I tell you.
Serious mental issues. Like 3 weeks ago, we had a conversation about something, and he's like, that never came up. And then 2 weeks later, it came up again. He's like, oh, yeah. And he remembered the first conversation, but not the second one. It's insane. How do you have conversations with him?
It's difficult.
Yeah.
Makes perfect
Because he
sense
claims
to
he
me.
remembers things that he doesn't remember. And then he claims that things never happened that did happen and that I'm wrong.
Today, we recorded a watch-along that'll come out next week for Nightmare on Elm Street, which we watched because he couldn't remember anything from a Nightmare on Elm Street that was called back in Wes Craven's New Nightmare, which we recorded last week. This week, he couldn't remember anything from Wes Craven's New Nightmare that was calling forward 2.
This
It's not
like
a bit.
you're
This is his problem.
describing my life right now, like what I deal with.
Like, the first time I said, you remember this from Wes Craven's Nightmare? That's what I'm talking about. He's like, I don't remember that. I'm like, oh no, we're in trouble.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. We should get you checked.
Yeah.
That's
I should send you. You got to go to my neurologist.
This has all been my cry for help, and you guys have finally got it. Thank you.
Anyway, go watch Horror Noir. It's really great. It covers everything from Birth of a Nation through Get Out and the usage of the black characters in horror from, the first to die trope through actually being the hero of the story finally. And it's like, it's appropriate we're covering Nope because Get Out was it'd be more appropriate to cover Get Out, but this was Get Out. First horror movie to win Best Original Screenplay. Also the first black writer to win Best Original Screenplay at the Oscars.
That's
Pretty
nice.
good. But we're not covering Get Out. We're covering Nope. Why would you pick Nope?
Why would I pick Nope? Because I like monster movies, and that's what Nope is. It is a big, giant monster movie, and there's lots of, there's things and themes and all sorts of stuff going on, but at the end of the day, it's a monster movie.
This is like his papers used to write in school. There are things and
Things and
themes.
that. No, we did have pretty good discussions last night.
Oh, should have saved them.
Did you?
Should have saved them because I know how this is going to go. All right, Pete, why don't you start us off?
All right. Let me start you off. All right. So, I couldn't really find any Nicolas Cage monster movies.
For Christ's sake.
So,
Can't do this anymore.
so
You initially encouraged this behavior.
what I did find out was there's an alien movie with Nicolas Cage called Jiu-Jitsu. And
Right. Makes sense.
every 6 years, aliens, I guess, attack, and like a jiu-jitsu clan has to like band together and fight them off.
Oh, I thought the aliens knew jujitsu.
They might know it too. I don't know. That's just something I found out in my researches today. So
Okay, back to Nope.
that was my Nicolas Cage update.
I've heard there's a lot of argument about the monkey. You know, the whole
Gordy the chimp.
Gordy the chimp being in the movie, like being a part of the movie, that whole storyline. And some people think it's relevant, and some people think it's not relevant and didn't need to be included in the movie. So, what do you think?
How would it not be relevant?
That's what people said on the internet that I saw. They don't. It's a divisive thing for viewers. Like some people just think it's extraneous and doesn't need to be there.
Did they understand the movie? Nope.
Kitty had the same initial thought.
Really? You didn't think it was important to the story?
No, but then I was talking to Pete, and he said it was more about animal exploitation. And I'm like, oh, okay, that does make a lot of sense. I could see how it would be in there.
But I can get it because I can see that some people just aren't gonna like. It just seems like a weird little backstory. But gosh, those scenes are terrifying.
Sure, but take it narratively. It's important that Jupe is doing what he's doing, or else there's no story here. He believes he gets the wrong lesson from what happened to him as a child.
Yeah,
He thinks he's special. He thinks he thinks he can commune with animals. He thinks that they're. So if he's not doing that, if he's not running his show, half this movie just goes away.
Yeah, but he could just be your general asshole that assumes that they can control animals.
But I love that it's not that simple a character. It's a very interesting character. He's Quint. He's Quint from Jaws. Just they show his backstory instead of tell it. He has the same thing, and he took the wrong lesson from it also.
He sure did.
Yes.
Yeah, and I don't think to me taking that out would be like taking the Quint speed out. Quint speed out. I can do that again. Quint speech out.
Third time lucky.
Got it.
No. With conversation with you two, I can agree that it's crucial to the story to have that in there. It's just the flow, I guess, isn't.
Oh, I think there is a problem with the pacing of the movie.
Yeah.
I do believe that's 100% true.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll agree.
I don't think that's the stuff I'd take out, though.
No, I wouldn't take it out. I would make it more sense within the pacing or.
Yeah.
I don't know. Boy, because I watched it the first time and I just remember the chimp attacks. I remember how fun it was to find out it's a monster because it wasn't the aliens that you're led to believe with everything. I don't know. Do you remember the advertising, Kitty, for this?
Nope.
Yeah,
She
that
got
movie.
it. Yeah, she does.
That was it. It was. You didn't know. It was very tight-lipped. It was always like the trailers were people like looking up and the sky and everything, and it was just you were led to believe that it was going to be an alien movie. So the whole half of the movie where you think it's an alien, I guess it's that slow build. I think what was Signs? Signs had that where it was just slow and it's not
never saw
great.
it.
Oh, you never did?
I caught on to the twist that M. Night Shyamalan wasn't a good filmmaker before that movie came out.
Lucky you. That one was something.
Yeah, this Signs is one of the influences on this movie, according to Jordan Peele. He took a lot from Jaws. He took a lot from Close Encounters of the Third Kind, King Kong, those spectacle movies. But he also wove in some of the signs, which I think is the problem with the pacing, to be honest with you.
It probably is, because if I just had that same thought,
Yeah.
I'm drawing a similarity to it.
The only thing I know about Signs is that it's slow, but it's pretty good until the alien shows up and then it falls off a cliff.
I don't even know if I go that far. The pacing is an issue.
I think I watched it, but I don't remember it.
And rightly so.
Okay. So pacing issues aside, it's a good movie. I liked it.
Yes, it was Scary Valley Award winner for Best Director last year, 2 years ago, 2022.
Oh, because that's when they came out. All right. So Keke Palmer, do I know her from something?
She was in Scream Queens, but I doubt you saw
I didn't
that.
see Scream Queens.
I saw some of those.
Yeah, she was
I didn't
great in
want to
it.
finish watching
Because she was
it.
really good. Sorry, Kitty.
Yeah, no, she was really good. I liked her a lot.
I liked her a lot. She has all the charisma, and OJ has none of it.
which is great.
I love it.
And they play well off each
Yes.
other.
I love when he has to try to
It's
talk.
very purposeful
Yeah.
that he has like zero ability to communicate with people.
But not hers. They have normal conversations. Whenever he has to talk to other
because
people,
he grew up with her.
I feel
so
him.
he's comfortable.
I feel him on this one. I don't want to talk to people either.
I buy their sibling. I think they seem like natural siblings. It's a really good job by both of them.
Yeah, and when they're assholey to Angel, like they do it together. It's a team effort.
Angel is Kitty's guy.
Is that right?
I just
He's
liked him a lot.
like
He had a very sad, like pointless life, and he was doing this. Well, he worked a dead-end job at this electronics store.
Oh, it's Fry's Electric, which went out of business the year this movie came out, before this movie started shooting.
Right? I said
He couldn't-
pointless.
He didn't want to change that. He just because it's set in September 2022.
That's fine.
But they went out of business in June. He didn't want to be like, well, just change the place. It's kind of funny.
It just highlights how futile his life is at this moment. His girlfriend left him because she got a thingy.
I mean, it went out of business in June 2021. So it started shooting, and he still kept it Fry's Electric, which I think is funny because it was a dead brand 6 months before they started shooting
I
it.
think it was a sign or a symbol
Well, I like
of
it,
the
'cause-
guy's life.
It works to your point, Kitty.
If it was a sign, Pete would have seen it and sung that stupid song again.
I saw the sun. I heard that on the radio the other
Yeah.
day, but it was just the very end. It was very sad.
So this guy, his girlfriend's left him.
Yeah.
He's working at a store that's closed.
Yes. I don't think he's getting paid anymore because I really think the place is closed.
And he seems to just be there all day, every day, and into the night.
And it's a giant store, but they're in a tiny Dust Bowl town.
Right,
How many people
right.
are coming in there for electronics?
Well, like 2.
Yeah.
But like he wants his life to have a purpose. And so this is it. This is his purpose, is him, saving people. At one point he said, this is going to help people, right? This is going to help. He's like talking himself up to
You
continue.
put a lot of thought into the Angel character.
Because the character's interesting. No, it's maybe I relate to it with pointed at my husband.
Did his girlfriend who left him have a problem with her brain?
Wait, which one? You're talking about both of us here.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Pete.
So, Pete,
That's me.
you're only about, I think, 2 years away from looking like Antlers looks.
Who's Antlers?
The film director.
Yeah.
Oh, but he doesn't have that voice.
He could.
It was a one-eyed, one-horned, flying purple people eater.
Don't do
He's,
impression.
no, yeah.
Hi,
Antlers
I'm
is like
Antlers.
a super weird guy, and I don't really understand why he ran out with his filming equipment.
He had to get that shot.
But nobody's ever going to see the shot
He saw
because
it.
he gets sucked up and dies.
He saw it. He had to get the shot. That was
Yeah.
that was his whole life's work to get to that shot. It was the bad guy from The Crow.
That was
Top dollar.
the bad guy, one of the bad guys in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Uh-huh.
And he was the bad guys in, I think, a Three Musketeers movie and also in a candy bar.
Famously top dollar in The Crow.
I've only seen The Crow one time in the theater.
It doesn't change
How
that.
do you talk to him for 2 podcasts?
How do you talk to him for 15 years?
I don't know.
And I know I've
it's
known him
more
longer,
like
but I get to
20
go
now
home.
at this point because I dated him for 4 years prior to us getting married.
I get to go home. You got to stay with this.
So apparently,
In this movie.
completely off track. No, not in this movie. Sam was just repeating to himself over and over and over again. At some point, I said yes to him wearing my Ryan Fitzpatrick jersey today, but because he just had been asking me things over and over again, I just stopped listening. And I do that a lot with Pete. And then I'm like, yes, 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 yes. And he's like, oh, we're going to have sex? And I'm like, oh, no.
Pete,
I didn't want to commit to that.
Pete told me that you were very afraid of the barn scene.
Oh, with the kids and the aliens?
Yes.
Oh my God. Yeah, I was freaking out.
I was
about
too the
that.
first time I saw
yeah,
it.
That was terrifying.
I somehow forgot it was there, and I was genuinely creeped out. I'm like, what is happening? Because I forgot that was the big, because I knew it was a monster. So I
I thought it was the monster, and I did love when OJ punches the kid full
Yeah.
on in the face. But the kid doesn't get knocked out. And I'm like, you totally should have been knocked out the way he punched him.
I love the way it ended where Emerald was like, it's like, you mess with us, so we'll get you back. And she's like, you stole their horse. Like, damn it.
That's right.
She realized that she had already.
She was great.
She was amazing.
She was amazing, yeah.
Your opening.
Yeah.
I guess I read
Trademarked.
She had Jordan Peele said somewhere that she had 8 or 9 different takes of that, and they were all wildly different. But that was the one that they went with.
That's really cool.
Because the movie is about, like you said, exploitation of animals. That was part of it. It was also about spectacle.
Yep, I
And
caught that.
Pete's going to give us something on spectacle? Or that
No,
was,
I just caught that. That was the thing I caught. What did I write down?
Because the point,
I lost it.
The point of the movie seems to be don't look at it. Don't get distracted by the spectacle of things. But also you made one that's a spectacle. So am I supposed to not watch this movie? Is that the lesson?
I don't know, but it was watchable, and it was a spectacle, and I didn't even wear my spectacles to watch it.
He wrote
I
that
knew
down.
that was coming in.
I know. You know what? I did too somewhere.
Hey, you know what else? Emerald wore green, and OJ wore orange.
Wow.
It's true.
What did Jupe wear?
He wore cowboy outfits.
He did
Weirdly.
wear
Yeah.
cowboy outfits.
And he reminded me of Kermit the Frog when he wore the cowboy outfits.
He reminded me of the characters in, what is it, Off the Boat?
Fresh as he's Asian.
Yeah. No, well, like, I didn't know if it was a reference.
Black History Month, everybody.
No, like, okay, you said weirdly he wore a cowboy outfit.
Yeah, because it looks like Kermit the Frog. I don't know why.
Why does it? Okay, I don't know, but
don't
I
know
thought
what
it was
Kermit the
pulled
Frog
from
is
like
talking
Off the Boat, maybe, because it's an Asian guy wearing a cowboy outfit. And how often do you see that?
I never saw it on Off the Boat.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Randall Park, he
Yeah.
had that Western-themed bar
Right.
or
I never saw
restaurant.
it.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I watched a season of it one time. It was
And
just
he
like what
wore
I
that-
watched before
He had
bed.
a cowboy outfit on.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's why it reminded you, I see.
Yeah.
He's from The Walking Dead, Stephen Yeun.
Yes. Well, wasn't it called like the Lasso Ranch or whatever? It was all Western
It was a
themed.
cowboy.
That's
Yeah,
why they would do
Western
it. Yeah.
themed.
Yeah, right. That was
I
also
do
the
have
restaurant.
to conclude that the horses that OJ sold to him temporarily got killed by the.
Yes, 100%.
Yep. If
That was depressing. I was like, he's just sacrificing horses?
It sure was. Watching it a second time when he's in there negotiating to get the horses back, he's like, let's work out a deal for getting the horses back. And he's like, yeah.
About those horses.
Yep.
They're all dead now.
But yeah, I missed it the first time too. But oh yeah, monster food. Which the scene after all the people get eaten, I'm still thinking an alien ship. So when they're being digested and screaming, I was very confused by that. I like it, because you find out afterwards. But it was so weirdly out of place at that point. I really had no clue what I'm looking at, like an organic ship of some sort.
Yeah, I didn't. It was weird because you think it's an alien ship, and then you have these people in, as near as I can tell, a very tight enclosed, like something you'd go through a horror house in. Just this tight enclosed space that flexes
horror house.
around you. I said horror.
A whorehouse. What would you go in through a whorehouse in?
A horse house? A house of horrors?
Don't know
You
why
guys
I
make
look
me
at them.
sad. And you didn't introduce me.
Oh,
What about a house of horse?
I didn't
horrors?
introduce anybody.
You didn't.
They all have sore throats.
Introduce yourselves if you feel like it.
Nah,
Hi, I'm Pete.
I'm not going to introduce myself.
All right.
The other thing I had, other than animal exploitation and spectacle, it's people of color in cinema as a theme that was happening there.
Erasure.
Yes, they were the first.
They were
And
the
you could
first.
see it when he was riding the horse. It looked like the original film. You could see it like through the slats of so it looked like the film. I saw
The
that.
Penny Dreadful.
Yes, because I've seen it twice. That's how I catch these things. That's why I'm so knowledgeable today.
There's such a contrast in how OJ understands and treats animals and how, what's that guy's name?
Jupe.
Jupe.
Exploits them.
Jupe learned the wrong lesson, and OJ was taught the right lesson. That even if you can't domesticate a wild animal, no matter what, it's not on your side. Anything can set it off. Those balloons set off Gordy, and the horse gets set off in the commercial. Did you see the director of that commercial is Osgood Perkins, who was the director of Longlegs, coming up starring Nicolas Cage. So there you go. I brought it back for you.
Thank you. I didn't know that, but that's exciting to hear.
He is the son of Anthony Perkins from Psycho.
I feel like you say
An
that
owner
a
of
lot
Perkins?
lately.
Was it?
Owner of Perkins Restaurants.
Owner of Perkins, famously Anthony Perkins, owner of Perkins Restaurants.
Remember when Perkins disappeared and then it opened back up and we went there and you wanted a chili bowl and you got a chili bowl?
Okay, let me explain the story because he's going to tell it wrong. I loved bread bowl chili. They no longer had bread bowl chili on the menu. And I said, well, can I have a bread bowl salad and a chili? And then you could just not give me the salad and dump the chili in there. I'll pay for both. I don't care. And they looked at me like I was insane.
Why did you over-explain what you were planning to do? Just ask for both.
What was I supposed to do with all the lettuce?
Dump
Put
it
it
on the
and ask
floor.
for a plate on the side,
Yeah, I guess
so
I
you
could've
can
done
share
that.
with Pete.
They couldn't accommodate me.
You
I'm just gonna
guys-
throw it out there. They couldn't accommodate it.
You guys could feed each other lettuce.
I think that Perkins is gone again.
It is.
Probably.
There's no Perkins in this area.
We went there and got a bunch of pies once.
When I was
Those famous Tony Perkins pies.
Yes.
He died of AIDS.
apparently, Kitty, I don't know, it's been a while since you're been here, but Brian likes to now mark everyone's age or death, or it's a grim time.
I know you don't, but I do listen to the podcast.
See, I don't believe that. I don't believe anyone listened.
But
The movie opens with coins and things dropping out of the sky with no explanation for it, which is pretty great when, in retrospect, when you find out what's happening. It's rejecting all of the things it can't digest.
I assume it was just taking a giant dump.
But it's also firing them down with deadly force.
well, is that dependent on how high up it is? 'Cause
No, I don't think so, because that's like a myth. If you drop a penny off the World Trade Center, well, I guess you can't do that anymore.
it's an
RIP,
animal,
World Trade Center
right?
died in 2001.
too soon.
Dun dun.
If you drop one off the Empire State Building, used to be that thing would flatten a car, and it's like that's not true because that's just not how mass
Gravity
falls.
works?
Yeah, that's not how it
Okay.
works. It has a
Terminal Velocity.
There it is,
Starring
starring
Charlie
Charlie
Sheen.
Sheen.
Jinx.
there it is.
You owe me a Coke now.
I thought you both were going to stop talking.
So I don't think that could happen. You could drop a nickel from however high up you want to. It's only going to get to a certain
10 feet.
I thought you were talking about your ability to stop talking.
Can't stop.
Can't stop it.
Won't stop.
Yes. Okay. So it's shooting them out fiercely, but that could be it pooping too.
Natasha Henstridge in that movie.
What are you talking?
I'm trying to think if she was the girl in Terminal Velocity.
It might have been. Yancey Butler did something similar, but it might have been a made-for-TV movie.
We should mention that this entire podcast is spoilers. Yet again,
This movie came out a long time ago.
having spoiled it.
Spoiler alert.
Keith David makes a cameo at the beginning, getting killed by a shiny nickel.
And he shows up a few times. Hey,
He does.
While we were watching it, when OJ is thinking back to, he's remembering things, and you see his father telling him something. Kitty, was it you last night? Did you say you thought it was a hallucination?
Yeah, I thought it could have been like a hallucination or like ghost dad.
I think it was a dream because he wakes up.
Oh yeah,
But
could have been that.
it is interesting if it's a hallucination because it brings me to the big question of the movie. Did OJ die in this movie?
Oh, that is the big question, and I think not.
I think not too.
Yeah.
But because you thought that was a hallucination, it does open it back up. Because my first
Yeah.
thought was, there's no other hallucinations in this movie. Why am I supposed to believe she's hallucinating now? But if he is having those hallucinations, then that could be a problem for me.
Who the Hubby, whatever the guy's name is, cowboy guy.
Hubie's Halloween?
I don't know.
Jupe.
Jupe. I don't know why I keep changing his name, but he has like flashbacks too. So these could be just flashbacks, like.
Yeah. It's framed in a way that you're not supposed to know because
Oh, how
she
he does.
closes her eyes after she sees her face resolves. She sees nothing. You don't see what she's looking at. When she opens it back up again, he's there.
Yeah.
So,
But that
it's-
could have just been the dust clearing.
Yeah, I don't think he died either.
Well, here's my argument for it.
Are you going to steal my argument
What's your argument?
that he was riding Lucky?
Oh, no. That's a good argument.
Yeah. Lucky
Lucky-
survived everything.
That's true. He was lucky.
Right.
Yeah, he was lucky.
That's
and
right.
he's
That might actually
riding
be it.
Lucky.
The funny part is that they've asked Jordan Peele and he just won't answer it, but he's like, I think there's a very clear thing that happens here, and like that might be what he's talking about.
Yep.
But when M sees him, he's under the sign that says "Out Yonder," which is,
Oh, like
it could be a message that he's not there, that he's
out yonder.
Ooh, I missed that one.
I think I saw it. But the other thing is he's kind of framed like your old wild westerns where they're looking out at the cowboy before he rides off in the distance. And
Yeah.
he's the hero. He's never dead. He just leaves.
Well, Pete,
So-
what were you going to say?
I don't remember.
You said you were going to tell us something, and then Kitty said you're going to steal her argument. What was your
What's
point?
your argument?
Right, that's where we are, for him being alive. It was when he's facing off with it and it goes into like its giant threat posture thing, he finally looks up at it.
Yes.
And you never see it attack him.
No.
You just see them staring at it while he kind of just backs away, like making eye contact with it, following it's at that point, it's kind of like a respect thing. Unlike Jupe, he always had respect for what the animal is.
Yep.
So, and you never saw him eat it. He just turned around and chased after Emerald, who was wearing green.
I agree with it. And there's one way that I think that's 100% right, but there's one little thing that bothers me about it. Not bothers me, just opens it up. Every time Jean Jacket Monster
Yeah, I named him that.
interacts with OJ, it either walks away hurt
Yes.
or OJ escapes. So I do believe there could be a learned pattern of not fucking with you. But the whole point OJ makes is that's not how this works. Even no matter what you think you've domesticated a thing for, it will act in its animal instinct. So I don't know that it doesn't butt heads with the entire point OJ makes in the movie.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing, though, is that Lucky still has those flags trailing. So if OJ and Lucky turn and run, the monster, Jean Jacket, might just go away anyway because
He
those
might.
flags are still trailing.
Didn't he have the eyes in the back of his hoodie,
What?
though, so that it would follow? So that
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
He did. That's why it had the...
Yeah.
And that was an orange sweater for OJ.
you can,
It was-
You
it
can
was-
stop saying that.
It was, but it was also I think it was the crew sweater from
The
Scorpion King.
Yes.
The first movie he worked on. It's pretty
That was cool.
That's
Now,
pretty cool.
I wondered, watching it last night, and I couldn't remember it happening, but I wasn't paying attention until the end on this point. Did the monster ever suck anybody up in a form other than its UFO-looking form?
No.
That's why I think he's alive.
Right.
Because when it tries to go after later to attack M, it changes back into that form to suck it up. So I don't think it could attack in that
No,
form.
it stayed in its threat posture, and
That's
then it
what I
started
think.
chasing after
It
M.
made itself big to be scary because it was intimidated by OJ. I think that's right. See, I think that he did live because of that.
And he just eye contact.
That's a good point.
And backed away. Like Lucky was walking. He didn't turn around and run. He just slowly backed. And then it just turned to chase M.
Yeah, I agree.
Which
I don't
is-
think he did.
Yeah, and backing away like that is a posture of, submission. So like it's saying, yeah, I acknowledge that you're super powerful and I respect that. So it's just another
He won the stare down, basically. OJ.
the monster
OJ
kind of
won the
won
stare
it.
down. No, he stared the monster down. The monster's like, all right. I'm going to show how big I am. And OJ just kept staring at him. He's like, ah, fuck, I'm out of here.
Yep.
Because every time I mess with you, things end up going poorly.
Also, the eyes on the back of his sweater, he could just take his hood down.
Yeah, I think he might have at that point.
Yeah, so that's not really
It was a cool reveal, though, to
Yeah.
be like, I can get it to follow me.
Yeah.
Yep.
This thing really didn't want to be looked at, which is pretty cool.
I liked
Very private.
Angel got saved just by fluke random happenstance of a tarp blowing on top of him.
See, it's great because he's useless.
Yeah.
He wasn't useless.
That's
Well,
why,
no,
that's
like,
why
he-
you're so attracted to his character. This explains everything.
He so desperately wants his life to have meaning,
Yeah.
but he's just a bumblefuck. Like, he just kind of, okay, yeah, I get it.
So Kitty and I, with the tarp and the barbed wire,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
he rolled into it accidentally.
Mm-hmm.
And then I argue.
Go ahead.
Jinx. She's going to owe me a Coke now soon, too. Anyway. Some of us, me, think that he was trying to tie the tarp. Once he realized what had happened, he was tying the barbed wire around himself more to keep himself tethered in case it tried to suck him up.
Maybe.
Kitty thinks it was like he was trying to get it off of him the
I
whole
think he's trying to
time.
get it off of him.
Okay. Oh, I said it one time. See, she's following the Jinx rules.
We've done this. If I try to follow the Jinx rules, you'd be doing this podcast alone.
Right. And then I could run this thing correctly. Nick Cage all the time.
How many times do you have to say your name?
Who, me? Kitty? Kitty does?
There you go. You're
There
good.
we go. I'm good. See, I thought he was just trapped in it and trying to get the tarp off, but that didn't make sense because he covered himself up with it so that Jean Jacket wouldn't see him or wouldn't acknowledge him.
He does get sucked up, though. And he falls back out because the thing gets, the barbed wire hits the, you know what I mean? You see
Yeah.
his body fall back down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't think he was trying to pin himself down because the barbed wire's not going to keep him down. He got sucked up anyway. I think it was more defense.
It'll
Yeah.
irritate him.
And it did work.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah.
worked.
Okay, yeah, something like that. So that's why I thought it was the.
But again, like the tarp, I don't know that he was trying to save himself more, that he just got caught in a circumstance that
Yeah, that's
saved
what
his
I
life.
think it was. Like, he accidentally lived.
Oh yeah, it was initially
Yes,
yes,
definitely
100%. It was an
Yeah.
accident, but then he used it to his advantage because he's a canny guy. Why are you pooping all over your guy?
No, I like him, but he's dumb.
Yeah.
Sounds like a genius to me.
I mean, he works at the Genius Bar or whatever.
Right, exactly. Clearly a man of intellect.
He's the only person that would know technology within 400 miles of that town.
Sounds like me.
Yeah.
My favorite scene in the movie, outside of maybe the Gordy scene, which I do love, is when it's raining all that blood down and the truck won't start. That is some excellent shit.
It was very cool.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the part where he opened the door a little bit and then he was like,
Yes.
nope.
Yep.
Nope.
And Angel's trying to is at the house with M, and he's
He's
freaking
hiding
out.
under a table.
He's afraid of every sound, and she's just like trying to figure out what's going on. It's pretty
Yeah.
good.
Oh, yeah. And it's weird because it is a very slow beginning for that movie, too. Like
Oh,
the
yeah.
build up to get there.
Yeah, I did ask Pete if it was going to just be that slow for the rest of the movie.
Kind of is.
Pretty much
It
there.
gets more interesting, though.
Yes.
So,
Right. The mystery builds. And then it's kind of an adventure. It's let's get this thing on film, a hunt.
It does. There's always a lull. I've seen this movie 3 times, I think. There's always a lull that hits me. I'm fine with the slow beginning. I'm fine with the build. And I'm fine with all of it. When you get past that part in the rain, the blood rain, that I love that night so much, when they double back to now we got to spend 40 minutes trying to film the thing, I do lose a lot of interest watching Antlers do his thing. It's like until we
Yeah.
get to the climax of it, I'm like, that third act is a little bit slow for my taste. Because you get the heights of Jupe's theater and the thing coming down and the reveal of what it is, and that's all excellent. Then you get the blood rain, that's great. And then it's like, keep going, keep going. No, we're going to slow back down and just
Yeah.
work on this picture for a while. Like, ugh.
but that was their purpose in the film. That's what they were trying to get done.
I know,
to
I know, I
prove
know.
it and make money off it.
Get the Oprah shot.
Did Jaws follow that similar thing? I feel like they'd get close to him and then lose him and then it would lull.
Well, the lull, though, is the Quint story. When the shark gets away for the night, that's when they tell the Quint story. So, like, it actually peaks when that happens.
All right, so it was a nice bridge.
Yes.
The bridge was a high bridge.
And the song that you love to sing.
I guess maybe the bridge in Nope, this lull, was a little too long.
That's the problem I have. Is
Yeah.
it showed you the great spectacle it wants to, and then it's like, now we're going to take it away for a long time. And I'm like, ugh.
Yeah,
I'm kinda
but if
into
it had been like
ramp it
5
up.
minutes of ramping it up, because that's
Yes.
where OJ gets really excited, right? And starts laying
Yes.
out the plan. So that's a really good part of the movie.
My favorite OJ moment, except for the awesomeness, when he just looks up and stares at the thing, because that's just badass. When him and M figure out they're able to get the shot, and then he's a very low key, no eye contact, monotone person, except he explodes with joy, and they high five each other like 10 times. Like, yeah, dude. I love that moment.
Yeah.
That's how you make characters feel like they know each other. That's
Yeah.
how you make it work. Because like I bought completely this relationship in that moment.
100% with you.
Yeah.
So back to that barn scene though. That was the scariest scene in this movie.
It was. It was terrifying.
Those noises, Jupe's fucking asshole kids.
Yeah.
The fuck.
When
Who are now eaten by a
Dead.
monster.
Yeah, they're all dead.
Us-
And the monster's also dead. So
Yep.
sad movie all around
No, I think it was
Yeah.
for all those people.
For all
the
those
important
yeah.
people lived.
Man, it was weird right at the show when they got eaten. The Jupe brought out his like co-star who got mauled by the
I know,
chimp,
yeah.
and like she was wearing a sweater or something of herself as a child. Like, it was
Yeah.
weird.
Oh,
with
I
her,
didn't
with
notice.
her previous face on it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I didn't notice that she was wearing that sweater. I was distracted by her, like,
the
veil.
spectacle of her. Like,
Yeah.
Jupe
you just like saying spectacle at this point.
too.
Her, like,
It's expectacle
veil
of
over
me.
her face. So I like how there were like 4 people in the stands.
You know,
too.
you got to put up with them. Sometimes it's a spectacle.
Yep.
Spectacle.
So when he enters that barn and the aliens are there, it's funny when you watch it the first time because you're not thinking 3-dimensionally about why are there aliens here. Like, you know why there'd be aliens here, but like, why is Jupe sending his kids to do aliens? Because he's looking for a UFO. Jupe wouldn't know that, but that's not what it is. Jupe knows there's a UFO. You just find that out later. So that's part of their sideshow when they pop out and they have their alien costumes on when they're at the fair. And it's like, oh, this was just unrelated to the fact that he was looking for a UFO. It just happened to be that they were already doing alien shit at the fair.
Oh, see, I didn't notice that.
I noticed it this time when he pulls his kids out and they're all, hey, and they're all wearing their masks. I'm like, oh, they just happen to have the uniforms because it's his show.
I think that because they said they were doing it for 6 months, so
Yeah.
I think they bought them at
But he
some
never
point
went to see it.
previously.
OJ never went to see
right,
the show.
so he had never.
Although he does go to see the show, and luckily he's late.
Yes.
Yes,
or else he would have
very
been in
good.
trouble.
Oh, he goes to get lucky.
Well,
I like when he says, I'm going to get lucky.
yeah.
to Angel, and Angel, there's no contacts for Angel. So it's like,
That's a funny line.
I didn't catch that.
He's going to one of those whorehouses we talked about.
horror houses.
Horror
The
house.
horse horror houses.
I also liked how they used the valley where you could see from the Haywood farm what was going on at Jupe's thing in the distance. It looked awesome.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I've been saying that a lot today.
Oh my God, TMZ guy
Oh, yeah.
with this shiny helmet.
Yeah.
He
That
was
so weird.
creepy and menacing, though, at first.
Yeah.
It was weird and so out of nowhere.
Yeah, and then he's like, "Don't you want to be famous?"
Yeah. That was so out of nowhere. It was pretty great.
But then it made sense. It would have gotten out at that point.
Yeah.
You got to be first, too. It added a little bit more urgency, which was sort of lacking with the slow. We got to catch the shot.
Now, my question would be, because this wasn't a UFO, it was a creature, why is it able to take out all of the electronics around it?
My theory was that it was because it doesn't have like flappy wings or anything. It was using the electricity it would draw on it to somehow keep itself aloft. That's why all the power went out when it was nearby, because it was sucking it up to keep up.
Good enough for me.
Yeah, or
I don't need like a real reason.
Yeah, no,
I was
I
just
didn't
curious.
have one.
Like once it's UFO, like it totally makes sense. It's disturbing the electromagnetics and stuff like that. But it's not a UFO, so it's like
it
why
could
are
have
they-
somehow been doing that when it was all big and flappy because it's so large that because it's low enough, so maybe it was disrupting any satellite activity.
Sure. Is this movie just an ad for Polaroid to come back? Because they wouldn't have had any of this problem if they just had Polaroids.
No,
That's true. Well, Polaroid, no, it's not. It's just a battery, right? I don't remember how Polaroids work.
No, I don't think so.
it's
I
an
guess they
ad
would've.
for
Yeah,
homemade
battery.
cameras.
Battery wouldn't have gone out. Would it?
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, the cell
Science.
phones
They had
did.
walkie-talkies.
Yeah, the cell phones went out too. I like
Yeah.
when the geek's like, yeah, the internet could go down. Your cell phone doesn't go down. Like that
He's
doesn't.
like, that's technology.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. And then he's like, "You guys on UFOs?" Like he's onto it immediately.
No, I had a thought, and the thought left my head. That is how it frequently
I wondered
goes.
what
Oh,
that sound was.
that was the sound of my brain hurting because I read that this, or yeah, I don't know, I read it a while ago. This was the first horror filmed in IMAX. Is that true? Or am I just making this up? I believe it was.
That's a great question. I'm going to guess that probably is true because I don't know what other movie would have had the
Why is Kitty reading my notes?
funding to
I'm just seeing if there's anything relevant.
get to do it. Jordan Peele's movies make money, so he can call some shots that other people can't have. So I don't know who else could have gotten one made. I mean, I think that like Robert Eggers could probably get it done, but I don't believe that he shot The Lighthouse in IMAX screen.
No,
he
I
shot
don't
it
think
like
so.
Of course they did.
Yeah, he might have.
What is POC in cinema?
People of color, POC.
Oh. I thought it was politics. Like, that might have been an L. Okay. But we already covered that.
Yes,
Good notes.
but you should watch Horror Noir
Illegible.
on Shudder. It's actually
Horror.
excellent.
Horror noir. Horror.
It's actually excellent. It covers, it stops at all the tent poles you'd want to talk about, like Night of the Living Dead, and how it had a black lead, even though nobody was doing that in 1968, and he didn't even intend to do it. He never wrote the part for a black actor. He just got the job. And then
Yeah.
it changed the context of everything in the movie. And whether he's always said, well, he's passed away now, George Romero, but he's always said that he didn't intend it to be any kind of a message movie. But it's like, I'm sorry, it's in 1968, if you're casting a black actor as the lead and he's slapping around a white woman and he's taking charge of the white men in the basement who clearly have racial undertones, like it changes the meaning of the movie, whether you intended it or not.
I like how you had to mention a real person that died. Like, you couldn't avoid that.
Well,
like, it
He
happens every
can't.
podcast.
It's just a thing now.
just
or you
said-
mention someone and then they die, and then you mention that.
Well, how am I supposed to? I said he always says, well, he doesn't anymore.
Yeah.
So I had to correct myself.
He stopped saying it.
I always walk away from these so sad. I just go cry for a while. Now you know why I take my quiet time. I'm weeping gently to myself of all the death.
You should be cleaning while you cry.
I start mopping.
Mop up those tears.
You got it.
Oh, I had something else, another thought on Nope, but I can't remember.
But
it, so-
Nope.
But Nope.
I do like it when they say nope. What was the other title? It had a different name. Jordan Peele had said it was Little Green Men. I think was the other title. It almost was instead of Nope.
That's a way worse name.
Yeah, that's a terrible name.
I think Nope is better.
Yeah.
Nope works great because I remember the original trailer. All you saw was like somebody looking up and then going, nope, 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 and then running away. It's like, yeah, it's perfect.
It was.
You don't need any
That
more
was
than that.
OJ, I think.
Yeah, you don't need any more than that. It's perfect. It was Daniel Kaluuya coming back from Get Out.
Who? What?
You know,
That was
it was the
OJ
first
was
Jordan
Daniel Kaluuya.
Kaluuya. He's got it. It's like Kluuya. Kaluuya. He was
Kaluuya.
Chris in Get Out.
Kaluuya. I didn't watch Get Out.
Oh, that's the best one.
It's the best story.
Yeah, it doesn't look as good as the others
No.
because he's turned into Jordan Peele has like ramped up his visual style unbelievably quickly.
Well, Pete said like every movie gets
Like,
better and better visually.
Crazy
Yeah.
good though. Like he's taking leaps that like I've never seen.
Does he have
filmmaker
more
take before.
funding behind him for that?
That's some of it, but it's
Yeah.
just like he's doing interesting things with the camera that like a lot of people never get to. Even when you take that barn scene when he's backed up and he's got his phone out and you start seeing the little head pop around and it unfocuses on that and focuses on his phone. Like that's just an awesome shot. That's like fuck, that's cool. And that his movies didn't look like Get Out didn't look like that. Even Us didn't look like that. And Us looks great.
Yeah, Us looks a million times better than Get Out.
Yeah.
Okay.
But at the time, Get Out was the better story, I think, and I like Us. Us was a lot of fun. And then this one, just visually, is incredible
Yeah.
compared to anything. And the fact that he's only got 3 movies to his credit and he's made this much progress.
That's why it's crazy because like Get Out is an unbelievably great movie, Oscar-winning, horror movie, which is rare on its own way. But nothing in it said this guy's going to be making such visually interesting movies in like 5 years. And then you see Nope, and it's like the whole point of it is look how visually interesting I can make this. Like holy shit.
I had a thought, but it's about the intestine thing with the people we're being sucked into. That's like the entrance to a children's bounce house. That's what it reminded me of.
I thought it reminded me of a large vagina with the uterine
That too.
walls.
Yeah.
That is a fucked up bounce house. Either way.
Either way.
Either way, man.
You know what it kind of reminded me of for some reason was Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
The cotton candy
cotton
stuff.
candy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just the color of it and the people stuck in it.
I just that part it was weak for the film, like
Yeah.
visually, but also, and so it was hilarious, but it was also terrifying a little bit because
Well-
you can imagine that happening, and it'd be horrible and disgusting. It'd be like, just kill me already. Like, stop pushing on me with your weird
I'm assuming like
Vagina.
dissolving you with your stomach acid.
slowly, and I imagine it's slow.
I don't think it is because in the opening scene, this is one of the cool things about watching it a second time. In the opening scene, you hear the people screaming as the thing's going overhead, and then it just stops. I don't think it is slow. I think it's.
But they were
get you
doing
when
it
it's done.
that night when it was flying over.
Yeah, you
their
heard some
house.
screaming,
Yeah.
but like I
I
said,
thought
it's
that
just-
was cool.
It's just that's what I mean. Watching it a second time when you know what's going on up there, it's like it's insane when you hear the thing and you just hear
As
like
it goes
it's like a
back
roller
and
coaster.
forth.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Good point.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I make one every now and then.
I liked it figuring it out watching it the first time. And like you hear the scream, then you realize what that was that you saw in the intestine. Like it's the
Yes.
stomach of the monster. You're like, oh, I see. And it was
Yeah, the movie has just such an interesting way to tell its story that it doesn't really have mystery so much as it is like you just have to wait to find out. But like, why is a key falling from the sky? Why is a nickel falling through the sky? Why is that sound up there? And it's like, it all makes sense.
right, it's all aliens at
Yeah.
first, but
It's just a good way to reverse engineer a story. To
But
be
there's but there's just a lot of see, this is why I think it's slower, because there's a lot of times where it's just showing up out of nowhere, like it's reappearing, and there's always that screaming happening. So
Yeah.
that's why I think the digestive process isn't as fast
Yeah,
as
maybe.
probably the people inside it would like it to be.
it's just that opening scene. You just hear it all stop,
Yeah.
and then it starts raining all that shit down.
maybe this alien is the kind of fella who likes to eat a bowl of cereal while he poops. So he's digesting some.
Who among
while
us
he's
does
get-
not?
Right. Sometimes you're a little pressed for time in the morning.
That rain of blood was really creepy.
That was my favorite. It was just such
And-
great horror.
And I'm like, Pete, where'd all the blood go? Right? Because in
Yeah.
the morning it's gone. And he's like, well, it rained a lot after.
It does. Yeah.
So
But
I,
it's still
I guess.
stained.
Yeah, the house is still
Yes.
stained, which is cool.
And it stays that way, right? It's like a murdery house after that.
Well, what people was it eating before the movie starts? Because there's people already in there, but nobody in town seems to have any clue this is
Oh,
happening.
it was explained. I caught it. Shit. Was it something about missing hikers? There were missing hikers, yes. Somewhere earlier.
Oh, okay, that's who
I can't remember if it was a news report or something, but
And I
yeah.
know for a
Oh,
fact,
you're right. Yeah.
one of them,
Thank you.
at least one of them had a nickel and one had a key.
Did you notice when they had OJ had like the medical bag with the nickel in it just pinned to a
Yeah,
wall?
yeah.
I was like, oh, That's a reminder of his father. And there was the cowboy hat, too. Like, off to the side, you see a whole bunch.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, Keith David just doing that quick cameo. You hear his voice, and you're like, I know who that is.
That's Keith David.
That's Keith David.
I didn't know who it
Oh,
was.
he's got one of the best voices. He's in this movie for just a few minutes. He has to have a longer fight scene with Roddy Piper and They Live than this. That fight scene's like 8 minutes long. He wasn't in this movie for that long. It's a famously, unbelievably long fight scene in an alley.
It does just go on.
It goes on. And
a John Carpenter movie.
And in one of the Saints Row video games, Keith David voices a character in it. And they bring Roddy Piper out to voice a character, and they recreate a very long fight scene between the two of them. It's pretty hilarious. Roddy Piper passed away.
Here, you got 2 this time.
No,
I think this number is like 3, maybe 4.
Well, I think we hit 3 last movie.
Yeah.
Or the one that's coming out next week, accidentally, because none of them were even from the movie. I hit 3 extra ones.
The bonus ones.
You know,
Pulling them out of the air.
he brings them up.
Like, Roddy Piper, though, was not in Nope. So,
No,
and
he was passed away
he's
by
dead,
then.
so this is a bonus one.
That was a bonus one. What do you got there, Pete?
Well, guys, a couple weeks ago, you jumped on, you had the Best Boys available, so I wasn't sure if that was my thing anymore. I still wrote it down because I love me a good Best Boy in the credits. The Best Boy, they had a pure Best Boy this time.
Ooh, pure one.
Pure one. Pure Best Boy.
That's
not
like
a hybrid.
great way to reference. Oh, God. We're talking about Black History Month, and you're talking
William
about pures.
God damn it. God damn it. The Best Boy is William R. Mayberry. But since that got so popular, much like my Nicolas Cage news updates, that other people are stealing it, I now look for other things, like interesting people that are in the credits. Did you know, Kitty, there was somebody called a greensman in the last movie we watched?
You mean
greensman. No, not the last
Valentine.
movie. Valentine. A
Okay.
greensman. This
What's a
movie,
greensman?
I don't know.
We don't know.
But this time there was a lead. Don't look it up.
Going
We
to.
don't. There was a lead greensman plus greens. They had greens.
Is it someone who's in charge of the green screen?
Also,
That could be.
there was something called the truck. There was a job for truck costumers. I don't know what trucks were dressed up, but Anita
The van for the Angels van.
was dressed up. Well, possibly.
Yeah, it had
I'm
that
sorry. Do you think
decoration
that the
on.
cars are going to be wearing clothing?
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. Like a transformer's got a dress if it's going to a prom.
Okay, a greensman is responsible for obtaining and taking care of anything green or natural used in film production.
So the weed guy.
So why did the greens have names?
The
Oh, those
outdoor
were
plants,
strains.
probably, and
I'm glad Valentine had a weed guy because that movie needed something.
yeah.
Well, anyway, Anita Snoops Brown was in charge of the truck costumes, and I have sad news, Kitty. Tim Taylor is no longer
Oh?
he is no longer the Tool Man.
Oh.
The Tool Man is in fact Pedro Benitez III.
Oh man.
So I don't know what you're going to do with that info, but that's how it be now.
I'm looking up trucks, man.
A truck costumer?
Oh, truck costumer.
That's a
Yeah.
that's a real
It's
thing.
got to be the person who paints the trucks.
Right,
No,
I
it's-
assume, but let's see if I'm right because I was wrong about the person who works in the truck getting the costumes ready and placing them in the change room for the actors.
It's the person who puts those fake eyelashes on the headlights
You know what he puts on there? The truck nuts.
and the truck nuts in the back. Right. A truck
And the mud
costume.
flaps with the naked ladies on them.
Yep.
Yeah.
All of those things, those are truck costumes. The antlers for Christmas time,
I don't understand why they do it in a truck, but okay.
because it'd be really hard to change in a car, I think.
No, they're not changing there. The truck
Dressing up a
costumer
truck?
is preparing the costumes and keeping them clean in the truck and
For
then
the
bringing
truck.
them out.
And putting them on the truck.
For the truck.
Oh my God.
By the truck.
On the truck.
But they start in the truck.
Below the truck.
Do you know
Go the nuts.
that Pete does not know what color Nick Cage's eyes are? He
Do
did
you
not
know what color
that.
Nick Cage's eyes are?
They're cerulean blue.
They're blue.
Yeah.
But he
Apparently.
asked me, he's like, Cage quiz,
Hey,
which
Kitty.
he always says. And he's like, what color are Nick Cage's eyes? And I was like, blue. He's like, you answered that really fast. How'd you know that? I'm like, I look at people's faces.
I don't know what color either of your eyes are off the top of my head.
Mine are hazel.
All right.
Blue.
Okay.
Yeah, we've been over that. You raising and are married to blonde hair, blue eyed.
another thing that is perfect to
their
bring
eyes are
up.
actually green.
Who's this?
My kids?
These are in the what now?
Yeah, their
Who's
eyes
in
are green.
Oh, their eyes are green?
They're on first.
Well, then a joke we make in next week's podcast that comes out, but 2 weeks ago is not going to make much sense.
Oh, okay.
Make a blonde hair, blue eyed joke at the end of one of them.
It was
Well, to be fair, he has blue eyes. Pete has blue eyes.
I never knew that.
So.
see, see, no.
I see a beard and usually a comical T-shirt, and I just know who it is. There's no point looking any deeper than that.
I hate you both. So, anyway,
But it's interesting
everybody
that-
phone in or leave a text message or write a note and tell me if you know what color people's eyes are, or if that's something you noticed ever
Yeah,
in your life.
Go ahead and send some emails.
Send an
if you know
email.
what colors
To
people's eyes
scarevalue something at scarevalue.com.
Closer. So the one thing I took away from watching the movie this time, especially, was that because it is Black History Month, I want to talk about the Asian character.
Yeah, we
Well,
got a
I
theme
mean, like
going
the film
here.
is all about exploitation, right? So it's exploitation of people of color, different races, and animals.
So I think Keke Palmer steals every scene she's in, but I think Stephen Yeun pulls every possible thing he can out of a character that shouldn't be as interesting as it is.
Do you know what I wondered
course I
about?
do.
No, because in the scene where the monkey goes crazy on the set when
Yeah.
he's a kid,
Ape,
and-
Catherine.
fine, chimpanzee. And in the intro scene, there's a slipper that's standing
Yes.
up on its toe.
Yeah.
And he also has it stored in a
Yes.
glass case. And I was wondering, do you think that has something to do with the monster or with the chimp going crazy? Like, what does that mean?
I think it was on the surface level, just it collected memorabilia from the set of that show because it's a weird thing. And he made it's sad, right? Like he was a child star, and you saw that Mad Magazine poster, on the wall that he had in his office. Like,
Yeah, I know, but like it was on the set.
I know, yeah.
Like that's wasn't surface level.
Well,
It's
no.
weird.
maybe it's because he was looking at that instead of looking at the chimpanzee Gordy in the eyes, and maybe that's why it didn't kill him at first too.
Yeah, but why is it standing on its toe? Why is gravity not working?
It's probably mounted that way.
No.
No.
It's the result of the attack. It's like a thing of beauty in the midst of horrible carnage. It's an impossible thing. It also does play into if you believe that OJ's dead, it's kind of the same idea, where this is like an impossibility. Statistically, I guess it's possible a shoe can stand like that. I'm probably could get my shoe to stand up like that, but
You can't.
the odds of something like that.
Challenge accepted.
But I can't. The odds of I could.
You yell at me
I
for
couldn't.
putting my coffee cup on the table and you just thumped your shoe on it.
The odds of an outcome like that are so impossible that it has its own beauty to it.
I think he was a
that-
creepy weirdo who collected stuff because he was a messed up kid from being just reliving that
Are
trauma.
you not remembering that this was in the
Who are you
like
talking
the first
to?
scene of the movie?
Not
the first scene
remembering.
in the movie, you see the slipper standing up on its toe. It's not in the box. That's not the first time you see
I
it.
feel like you're like yeah. So there was a shoe on the ground and he took it. Like you're ignoring the impossible point of how it's situated, which is the same way he has it in the glass case. Did that really
Yeah.
happen? Like that's the thing. It's like it's such an implausible thing that is it really happen? Is it how he's remembering it? Is it who knows? But that kind of goes to the OJ thing. Is he really there? Is it how she wants to remember it? It's the same kind
Yeah.
of thing where it's unanswerable because it's kind of impossible, but maybe. I don't think there's anything deeper than that. It's just that the monkey
Yeah.
attacked and then this is what he saw. And
Yeah.
I don't think that the monkey didn't attack because he wasn't looking at him, because he was looking at the monkey. The monkey makes direct eye contact
Yeah.
with him right at the end of that opening scene and walks over. It's just the monkey had calmed down.
Well, the monkey didn't get him in time.
No,
It got
monkey
shot.
the monkey did, but no, I don't think he was going to hurt him. That fist
I
bump
don't
was
know.
clearly
I-
something that was trained.
Yeah, it was a training.
So that's why Jupe clearly learned the wrong lesson. He took from it like, oh, I'm special. This animal killed everybody, attacked my sister, and did all this, but it didn't want to attack me because I have a special relationship with these animals, and he's just completely wrong.
Well, I don't agree with that. I think the monkey was an element of training, but that's what he was used to doing with Jupe. Was
I
the
don't
fist
think there's
bump
any
thing.
way he was going to attack Jupe. at
And
that
I
moment.
think he would have, as soon as they touched hands, the monkey would have grabbed him and ripped him apart.
I don't think so. Because he wasn't hollering anymore. He wasn't running around. He wasn't rabid anymore. In fact, he had even like looked over at the dead body and was trying to like wake it up, like, "Hey, what's going on?"
That's a fair point. Yeah.
I think it snapped out of it.
Yeah.
And then Jupe just got lucky. He got lucky, and he was like, "Oh, I'm special." And it's like, "You're not special," which is part of why Stephen Yeun pulls so much out of it.
Well, at that age, as a kid, when you're going through a traumatic event and you aren't a victim, you're a victim of the event, but you don't end up dying, you are going to take away something that you might internalize as thinking you're special.
Which is where that shoe standing up becomes so interesting. Like, is that really there? Is because he's telling you the story too in a way that's not actually accurate, because he thinks that he's special in the story. He's not. So was that really even happening? Is that just how he chooses to remember things?
Yeah, he's not even the only survivor.
No, he's not. Yeah.
I take it at face value. I don't know why the shoe is pointing, because the movie doesn't have
something at face value.
that Gordy.
Gordy,
That was based on something real too. It was
the Gentle Man, right?
no, it was another chimpanzee.
Grizzly Man.
That one with the horse.
Of course.
I don't
No,
remember.
shit. It was something.
Dumbo.
Something. The dark side.
Dark side.
No, I had a
Yeah.
point, but
No, you don't.
I really did. It was a good point. It was well thought out. It was something about him. The point he took away from that lesson, what he learned, was that you need to monetize it. You need to make a spectacle of even tragedy, even personal. He grew up as a childhood star. Then it became a skit on Saturday Night Live. This horrible event played for laughs that he was, culpable or not culpable, but directly involved with and profiting off of, or just enjoying
I don't think he profited off of that.
enjoying the limelight. And
They buried it.
But he was already a child star. He's going to do that anyway. Entertainment.
that's
is what he's
weird.
gonna do.
That's how you process grief.
But it does go back to that shoe. That's what the shoe is. Then the shoe is spectacle. The shoe's the spectacle of that moment to him. It's not even the monkey doing things. It's this.
So
Yeah.
you're saying I got to add the shoe to my list of themes for this movie.
I would
You
like
got
to see
to
your
add
list of themes.
to your list of spectacles.
I'll add it to my list of spectacles.
I don't think.
All
I don't
right.
think it's a shoe. I think she's right. It's a spectacle, not a theme. Shoe is not a theme of the movie. Nope.
I don't know about that. It seems to fit. If the shoe fits,
If the spectacle fits.
you'll see it.
Have you seen Us?
No.
Oh, so this is the only
Put on your spectacles.
Jordan Peele movie you've seen?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because I think it's an interesting one to watch first, because I think he's not just visually, but he's, constantly evolving as a filmmaker. He's got a lot of talent, and
My understanding is that those other movies are a lot like creepier and more scary.
I think Us is much more scary than this. Yeah.
This was a safe movie for me because it's just a monster movie and there's not a lot of points.
I
Like
think
there's
Us is definitely the scariest of the three.
yeah, there's a lot of high tension moments in Nope, and there is that scary part with the kids.
Yep.
It is.
But
That scene is scary.
No,
Yeah.
it's great.
I mean, even the blood raining down,
Yeah.
I'm like, I already know why that's happening.
Yeah.
So that wasn't scary.
I think Us is definitely the scariest. I don't think Get Out's scary. Get Out's a lot of jokes, a lot of funny in it too. It's more of a social commentary than anything, and great acting, and like little twists and turns and stuff like that. But I don't think it's a scary movie so much as Us is definitely just like pure going for scares.
More psychological horror.
It's going for more blood and more.
This one
Gore.
or Us?
Us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're going
Get Out is
for more blood and gore.
Get Out is 100% a psychological horror movie, and it Jordan Peele talks about Get Out a lot in the horror noir documentary, and he says that it's a specific horror that starts with a black character walking down a suburban neighborhood just feeling watched, and he's like, that's a specific horror that I don't even think you have to be black to get. Like, anybody feels weird in the things. He's like, but it's definitely made for black audiences to be like, yeah, you ever have to be over these white people's house?
Yeah.
And
No,
it's like
that's
how uncomfortable it is. And
yeah.
this is the ultimate extrapolation of that. Like, these white people are up to something. And he even says in the documentary, he's like, there are no good white people in this movie. That's like the joke.
okay.
Like, there's always one good white person who's going to be the helpful savior. He's like, not in this movie. He's like, that's not what we were doing.
Well, it's funny because we've had that issue in our neighborhood where a kid down the street was playing with a friend that was black, and one of our neighbors came over and was like, do you know that kid? And we're like, so-and-so's friend. Like, what do you want?
I don't remember this.
You don't remember? I can't, I'm not going to name any names
Do you
or
remember
anything.
the time the little Asian kid walked into your backyard, just started playing with all of the kids' toys, and we were just sitting there, just
Was that William or was it Amelia?
Well,
no.
As it turns out, Kitty, I don't know.
Yeah.
There,
It was strange.
Brian and I were sitting in the backyard, just chatting away like our little chatty selves do, and this child ran up, and I thought it was William. One of our neighbors had just had a kid, but this kid wanders up. He's like playing with balls. He's not saying anything, and then
He's taking out ray guns and just shooting them in the air. He's playing with the
Connect Four.
He
Connect
walks
Four.
over. He's like, "Oh, you want me to set this up for you?" And he's dropping him in there, and we're just watching him. And I was like, "Who is it?" He goes, like, I thought I knew, and I'm not sure I know who it is."
Well, I thought it was William, but
It was a little boy?
William would have only been about 6 or
Months.
7 months
Like-
old at that point, not
So he would
wandering
have been
around.
walking.
This kid was like 4, maybe.
And then, did he just wander away? I don't remember what happened.
A man came and got him, and you were like, "Oh, hi!" And I was like, "Who's that?" I was like, "I don't know who that was." It's like we don't know
Yeah.
what happened here.
Interesting.
I don't know. Because it wasn't the other neighbors down the street
Nope.
because they have
No,
two
they came from
girls.
that way for sure, but it wasn't
Nope.
somebody you knew. Maybe it was
Yeah.
like a relative of.
I'm 100%
Yeah,
sure it had to
maybe
be
it
a
was
relative.
a relative.
But
Okay.
that kid got away and found all the toys, and he was in heaven. He was like, "Oh, this is where I want to be," and he's just like, "Nothing's wrong here. Got to play with everything."
Yeah, no, I think our yard is
Yeah.
like the place kids wander into.
But we've never seen him again.
Well,
So
no, I
it's
mean,
crazy how he just found
If
it.
it was a visiting relative, then maybe they.
It just
went
shocks me
home
how
or
he found
whatever.
it. How did he find this yard with two
I don't know.
middle-aged dudes
Maybe
sitting
someone
in the
was
back?
talking about it, and
Yeah.
so he went for a visit.
He never said a word. He just
Nope.
popped in, played with everything, smiled a lot, and then got told to go home. And he's like, "Oh, see you later." See you later.
Bye.
No, he didn't say that. Just
No, but like I think our yard is where kids feel comfortable and they just kind of go,
is
even
that,
though.
is that why all the people are back there masturbating?
Jeffrey Jones, God damn it.
I didn't bring him up. It's like 7 straight podcast episodes where Jeffrey Jones is going to come up.
I thought we were talking about when I got angry and was talking about people coming in my backyard.
Yeah, we're talking about people coming in your backyard. That's what we've been talking about this
Yeah.
whole time.
Oh, man. I just had the thought, if you take all of his movies, I think he's like
Ooh.
telling us, Jordan Peele, he's telling us a story in the titles. Get Out. Us? Nope. So what's the next part of the story?
All right.
I'm just saying.
Fine then.
It's like those build a sentence games.
He does have an untitled movie coming out this Christmas.
Get Out. Us? Nope. Untitled.
Untitled Jordan Peele vehicle. That's it. All right. Anybody
All right.
want to plug anything?
I have nothing.
I got to plug in my charger.
It's getting more and more frustrating with you.
Is this why you need me to guest host?
I need you to, not guess, I was saying you to be the permanent replacement. 'Cause he can't remember anything.
That's why I keep all my notes.
I did carry a lot of this.
One episode, he had his notes, and I looked at them, and it just said like 6 different Best Boys written down. And then, but he had like, he must have had something else written down, because once he was finished with it, he just threw it down
Yeah.
joyfully.
I just listened to that.
and I'm like, he just threw his notes down because he's done.
Yeah. He's done. And it was within like the first 5 minutes, 10 minutes
And
of
all
the
we had was
podcast.
the Best Boys.
And he's like, "Psh, did this.
I'm sure there was a Nicolas Cage update in that 3 minutes of airtime.
100%.
God knows there was. All right. We'll see you next week for a watch along of Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm going to predict since we already recorded it. Enjoy the case we bring up and solve in the middle of that one. That's
I
one to look
still
forward
think
to.
there's more to unravel.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah, we uncover a age-old mystery.
Case solvers.
Case
At it
solvers.
again.
Volume 3. See you next week.